Hello everyone, Jennifer Maker here. Today we are going to set up and play test a brand new Brother Sublimation Printer. This new sublimation printer just recently came out, and this will be my very first time trying it out with you in this video. So I got the Brother SP1 on printer. This is sublimation printer made for sublimation for $400 on Amazon. You can see it over at jennifermaker.com/brother sublimation. I'm putting the link right down here at the bottom of the screen. Now, the main selling point of this printer is that you can get started right out of the box, as it comes with 4 full-sized sublimation ink cartridges and 10 sheets or so, I'm guessing. I think it's supposed to be 10, we'll see. 10 sheets of sublimation paper. And it works with something called Artspira, which is a design and crafting app from Brother. It also claims to have fast printing speed, high quality color designs, and a small footprint. It also has app support, so you can use this on your phone or tablet in addition to your computer. That is unique to this any sublimation printers. All of the other ones don't have app support. So those of you who are like, I really just want to use my iPad or my phone, this might be an answer for you. We'll see, right? Now, the Brother Sublimation Printer is a purpose-built sublimation printer. That means it's made for sublimation. It's not like, something that we're converting, which we often do, right? And I think that this printer is most comparable to the Epson F170, which I have right here, or the Sawgrass 500, which is right here, as it does the same size prints as each one of these do. So that's what we're going to be comparing it to as we unbox and set this up and play test it. Of the 3 sublimation printers I have here, the Brother Sublimation Printer is the least expensive. The Brother SP1 is $399, the F170 is $449, and the Sawgrass is, depending on which size ink you get, it's about $575 to $625, all right? And those are the retail prices, of course. Sales are different, right? All right, so now let's see how hard or easy it is to set up. We're just going to do it together. All right, so it's all taped up. I'm just going to use my handy scissors, my trusty scissors, to sort of get this tape off. Feel free to ask all the questions you have, of course, and I'll do my best to answer them. Sublimation is really just such a cool thing, and I know many of you are really interested in it, but you're confused by it, right? So having options is really nice, I think. Okay, so inside the box, let me show you what we got here. All right, make sure you can see that okay. There we go. Inside the box, we have ink. We have a sublimation ink cartridge, black, magenta, yellow, and blue. And these are supposed to be full-size cartridges, not starter cartridges or anything like that. Our power cord. Let's take out our packing material. And looks like this is our paper right here. Let's pull that out. Well, we'll get it out in a minute. All right, so now we need to get this printer out. So it's all wrapped, which is good. We want it to be wrapped. And it doesn't look like your typical printer, does it? Are those stickers? Oh, they're kind of like stickers. I think they are. They're not just printed on there. All right, so here is what it looks like. Let's take off all the plastic. And let's see what was in the box here. All right. Let's get started. There's a QR code, a video tutorial. And this is the sublimation paper. This is the printable side, it says. Okay, cool. All right. Does it say 10 sheets? Because I thought it was 10 sheets. It looks like it could be 10 sheets. All right. So first thing I see is our blue tape. I always put these on printers to keep them safe while they're shipping, and mine was certainly shipped to me. So let's take off all of our tape. We know we need to do that. And then we'll figure out how we're supposed to set this up. Any more tape? Let's open up. Oh, what is this? It says, oh, hey, what? Well, this is hard to miss. It says, let's get started. So you want to download Artspira. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Then connect your machine, transfer your design, watch it print, apply your design, and you're done. Well, gosh, they make it sound super easy. So they have, I like this. They have these little QR codes here to help us find things. So this is Artspira. Artspira is the app for setting it up, I believe. And then if you need more ink or paper, here you would go here. And if you need a heat guide to tell you times and temperatures, they would send you here. I like this. And they have the little sandwich diagram for sublimation. This is really cool. But like, I feel like this is just a piece of paper stuck on here. Maybe it's supposed to stay here. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. It seems, because I think that there's a scanner in here. I'm looking. I feel like there is. I don't know. Maybe not. It seems kind of stuck on here. I'm pulling up the corner. See, there's totally a scanner here. See? Which is actually pretty cool. Because if we can notice this, Epson F170, Sawgrass, there's no scanners on these. These are scanner. They do not have so they just open up into all of the business end. So that's kind of cool. So if you want a scanner, because sometimes that's useful, the Brother has a scanner. So it's just covered up. Like I might not have even realized that, but it's totally covered up there. Okay, so that's good to know. All right, so let's just do what they say. So I actually hooked up my phone so that you could follow with me as we do this. So let me turn on my phone so you can see it, which I believe is right here. So that means it will block some of what we're seeing, but at least you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, so let's do exactly what they say, and we're gonna just gonna do this. We're gonna follow the directions today. Camera. All right, so we want this one. All right, can everyone see my screen? Awesome, it's working. Okay, I did download it earlier just to be sure that everything was working. So I have it downloaded, but otherwise you would see a download here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it. And this is what it looks like. I also signed into my Canvas Workspace account because this is a Brother product. So, but if you don't have an account with them yet, it's free. It's free. There is, of course, like everything has these days, there's a subscription element to their app, but you can use their app without having to pay for it. Like you can use it for designing. So that's important that you know. It's not dissimilar from Cricut Design Space in that way, right? So there's a free part for just printing, and then there's designs in there if you want to, right? And I believe that we get like a free trial or whatever, but I'm not even doing that part today. Also on the front here, a QR code right here. So it's in two places. For all I know, it's like on the box too. It's probably over here which we haven't even opened yet. We should probably open that up. Make sure we're not missing anything important. Warranty information, and that's significant because this is a sublimation printer, so we're not violating the warranty by using it for sublimation like we are with an Epson EcoTank. So that matters. Product safety guide. And here is our Let's Get Started. There's a quick tutorial on how to make a sublimated t-shirt. That's cool. So if you need that, I also have tutorials, of course. All right, quick setup guide. So let's do a good job here. All right, unpack the machine and check the components. We did this part. We checked everything. We got everything out. Let's see if we can pull that up so you can see that better. There we go. And we removed the tape. Let's just double check to make sure that we got everything. Normally you can lift up. I don't see, maybe here. There we go. Is on the sides. All right, so I don't see any tape in there. That's good. I don't see any foam or anything like that either. All right, so we have unpacked it and checked our components. It says to save your packing materials in the box in case you need to ship your machine. So unlike the Epson Eco Tanks that I talked about yesterday, you could totally ship this machine. Your ink is in cartridges. So this is, you know, it doesn't have that, it's not as fragile as an Epson Eco Tank is. All right, the next thing is to load the sublimation paper into the paper tray. Okay, so let's close this, and here is the paper tray, and it has these little guides in it. You know, normally you can pinch them to move them, and indeed that's exactly, I was able to pinch it and move it, right? So you can see that, right? Pinching it and moving it. And our paper, where they included paper, which I really like. All right, so this is sublimation paper. That's important to note. Now, of course, they're going to have us set something up, so we could put regular paper in here for setup if we wanted. I might do that because there's only 10 sheets of this, so I don't want to waste it, right? But we'll go ahead and we'll follow the instructions for now. Okay. All right, this is interesting. So, and let me show you on the overhead, this up close. So right here, you see this? It's giving us a diagram of where the printable side is and the cut corner. And it's actually, it looks like it has a notch in it. It does. The paper has a notch in it right here. Can you see that? That tells us what the printable side is. That's pretty cool. So we want to put, as always, we want to put the printable side in any kind of front loading tray like this, that we always want to put it like face down, right? So that means our notch is going to go in the lower right corner. So that's kind of cool. It's a different way of indicating which side to print on. So I'll go ahead and put that in. Be sure to fan out your paper, right? So that you don't get paper jams. And then there's a little pinch closure right here to close it up. And I am going to put a piece of regular inkjet paper in here so I don't waste my precious sublimation paper, because they only have the 10 sheets that they gave me. Of course, you can buy more. You can buy more, but I don't have more. I just have what they gave me right now. I have a sub paper sitting over there, but I want to use their paper to see what it's like. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And by the way, this shows you exactly how to load it, right? So all the steps are right here for loading it. So super easy. That's really nice. Step number 3, connect the power cord. All right, our power cord. And by the way, I know that my friends, Angie and Corey, also got a Brother Sublimation Printer. We all bought them. No one got them free. Just so that everyone knows, I don't want to like imply that. I saw that they got their videos up onto their channels already. So if you want to watch a lovely edited video that is nothing like this, which, because this is real time as I'm doing it, mistakes and all, I looked over, I like zipped through their videos really quickly this morning because I saw that they were there. They have awesome videos. So if you just want something a little shorter and to the point and clear, they did a great job. All right, so I'm looking for the power cable. It is actually attached. It's not like separate, which is usually what it is, right? Look, it's right here. So it's not one that kind that you have to plug in. Okay, that's awesome. All right, so let's take off the twisty tie. All right, so I'm going to plug it in. I have a little power strip over here. It's doing stuff. I'm not going to move it until it's finished. Its print head's finished moving, just in case. I'm waiting for it to finish. I mean, it's probably fine. I will admit I have moved my printers while they're doing stuff. but you know, it's probably when the first time you turn on a printer, usually it's doing checks and stuff, so you'll hear it. And that's good. We want it to always do that. Okay. Well, while I'm waiting, I'll just open up my ink. It's like in sealed little bags here. Oh, I don't even have to cut it. It's got little tears on it. Little tear notches on it. It's yellow. Also, there's directions and everything right on here. That's nice. And it sounds like it stopped, so good. Cyan and black. All right, so we'll set these over here. And let's move this back so we can see, because I want you to see the installation of the ink. I'm going to put away the iPhone since we're not doing anything with that yet, but we will. All right, so here it is. Looking awesome. It's cute. Okay. So we connected the power cord. You can adjust the control panel angle. So that's pretty normal for printers like this. This one does it too. You can see that it powered up properly. That's good. Oh, okay. And it also says to maintain print quality, keep your machine connected to a power source all the time so that the machine can clean the print head periodically. This is significant. Okay. That means that this $400 printer does the same sort of auto maintenance that the more expensive Sawgrass does. So long as you have it plugged in and powered on, it will do auto maintenance, which is awesome. The Epson F170 does not, by the way. I actually am like, I was really surprised by this, and I asked the Epson representatives I met with this summer about that, and they confirmed that it doesn't, and there's nothing like secret that I don't know about. So those of you who don't like having to worry about printing to your printers regularly to keep them from clogging up, this is really great news, because that means you can keep your Brother printer turned on and it will keep itself ready to go. So without having to print to it. Okay. Now it says install the starter ink cartridges. Okay. Let's go back over here. Here is the ink compartment. And let's see if there's anything special about this. Open the ink cartridge cover. Quickly shake all of the ink cartridges horizontally 15 times as shown. So let's start with the magenta. And it's showing us to do it. I'm going to totally just do it the way that they said. Looks like this. So 15 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. So you just want to shake it quickly 15 times. And then follow the instructions to install the ink cartridges. Oh, so it's actually giving us a little demonstration. It's just showing us exactly what to do. It says install ink. Quickly shake the ink cartridges horizontally 15 times. And there's a little, is this a touch screen? This is a touch screen. All right, install the ink. Insert each ink cartridge, pushing firmly down until it clicks. All right, I'm kind of looking at this in an angle, but this is clearly going to be the front. It's got like a little logo on it. I'll put this down so I can see it better. Put that down all the way there. I'm just going to try sliding it in. Well, that was easy. Okay, so that's magenta. There's Brother. Just slide it in until it clicks. Okay. Wow, that's very easy. That might be the easiest I've ever had to install ink. Okay, oops, I didn't shake the other two. I'm busy talking. Let's do that properly. Just take them out, shake them. It said to shake them, so let's do that. Okay, so $15 times. All right. Here we go. And one more. There. I'm sure that this would be a little easier to get in straight if I was looking at it straight on, but there we go. We did it. Okay. All right. So yeah, so it's significant to note that the Brother Sublimation Printer is using cartridges, not tanks with bottles, right? So that means when you want to refill this, you buy new cartridges. You don't buy bottles and fill it. Unlike the Epson F170 back here. The Epson F170 has tanks. These little blue things back here, these are tanks that you fill with bottles, right? So this is essentially an eco tank with a special print head, okay? So it's basically built on that same technology. So the F170 is refilled with bottles, but the Brother Sublimation Printer and the Sawgrass, they have cartridges. You don't refill those cartridges, you buy new cartridges, and then you just slot them in. So ink installation, ink filling is easier with cartridges. It just is. Okay. All right. Number 5, let's close this. Let's go back to our other camera. And this looks good, so let's go ahead and close it, okay? And it says to set the date and time. And I am going to switch this around so you can see it from the top after it finishes doing. Like, it's doing something. Can you hear that? I don't know what it's doing, but it could be priming. It's priming the ink. It could be, and no, it knows I put the ink in, right? So it's probably pulling the ink into its system and priming the printer. All right, so yes, it says filling ink. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just test moving this. I want you to see what we're doing. Okay. And then I'm going to put it on the overhead. All right. And I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so you can see that better. Here we go. It might still be hard to see, but it says preparing the ink will take 8 minutes. Okay. So that sound you heard was it priming the printer and bringing it in. And it said it was filling the ink reservoirs. And it says preparing the ink will take 8 minutes. While preparing the ink, you can proceed with initial setup. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll tap on next. Okay, so it wants us to put in the year. It defaulted to 2024. That's funny. All right, 2023. And it is currently December. Oops. December 3rd. Right? It's the 3rd day of December. And it is 1. I don't really know that we need to know what time of day it is, but what the heck. We'll just finish this. 1:03 p.m. All right, information on Web Connect, firmware, and app updates can be displayed by automatically connecting to the internet. So, there's a little down here. Do you want to enable this function? So yes, let's say yes. Accepted. Let's see what happens. Initial setup. Do not disconnect the power cord or open the ink cartridge cover. And there is a little progress bar right there. So we will let it continue doing its thing. All right, so far everything is going great. Everything is working well. That's awesome. I'm checking to see if anyone has any questions I can help you out with. Oh, Holly says, are these starter inks? My understanding is that these are not starter inks. They are, hang on a second, my notes moved and I want to make sure I tell you the right amount and don't accidentally mess that up. Hang on. I'm checking the packaging. But it doesn't tell me. Hang on. Can you help me with my notes? Thank you. Because I researched it this morning to make sure I told you what the ink would be. Yeah, just a little bit more. A little bit more. Thank you. No, just a little bit more. Keep going until I tell you to stop. There you go. Thank you. Appreciate it. Perfect. All right, it's still working. Okay, so I did a comparison between the inks for the Brother Sublimation Printer and the others so that we could talk about it. So Brother Sublimation ink comes in 47 milliliter cartridges. It is $39 per cartridge or $143 for a full set. And the cartridges are available on Amazon. And I've already seen them in stock at my local craft store. In fact, Greg saw the Brother Sublimation Printer there and was like, should I buy this? And I'm like, no, I have one already. Now, the Epson Sublimation ink, so the Epson F170 has its own sublimation ink. It comes in 140 milliliter bottles. Those bottles are $25 a bottle, or it's $100 for a full set. However, these are harder to get. They are not available on Amazon or in craft stores that I have ever seen. You have to order them from a specialty shop like Heat Transfer Warehouse to get them. And recently they were out of stock. I couldn't find them. Okay, so harder to get over here. The Sawgrass Sublimation ink comes in 20 milliliter starter cartridges or 31 milliliter standard cartridges. They are $80 a cartridge or $300 for a full set. These cartridges are pretty easy to get on Amazon and in craft stores. So if we compare these three, cheapest ink over here on the Epson F170 for sure. Those are big bottles and they're cheap. Second cheapest is the Brother. So these are not starter cartridges. They're full-size cartridges. As far as that's all my research showed that. So if it turns out I'm wrong later, forgive me. But these should be full-size and they're bigger than the full-size cartridges on the Sawgrass. I don't mean to cast any shade at the Sawgrass. I love my Sawgrass, but when we're looking at the price of the ink, this Sawgrass has really expensive ink, and that is something to consider. It is important. So you need to be able to get your ink. So the fact that it's got cheap ink isn't helpful if you can't get it. And if it's really expensive and money is an issue for you, that's a problem. So the sweet spot currently for ink, according to my research, is the Brother Sublimation Printer because it's got bigger cartridges than the Sawgrass's biggest cartridges, and it's cheaper. So hopefully that helped you out. So the Sawgrass does have expensive ink for sure. But the Brother, this is actually really affordable. You can get a full set of cartridges for, what did I say? It was like $120? Is that what I said it was? I don't remember now. 140? I might be wrong. Whatever. I wrote it down earlier. Whatever I said earlier is correct. Oh, and this link that you see right here on the screen, that actually takes you to Amazon. There's a shopping list on Amazon, my shopping list. And you can see exactly how much it costs to get a new set of cartridges for the Brother. So that's a great way to check too. Because you never know. The price could change when you watch this video, of course. Okay, so we are getting there. We are like at 90% right now on our the ink setup. All right, any other questions about? Yes, so there's a question about what size paper can the Brother Sublimation do? All three of these have essentially the same paper size limitations, right? So they can all go up to 8.5 by 14 inches, and they all have front paper trays, right? So they all pull out. The Brother pulls out too. However, I want to note something. All right, so the pull-out tray, it says that it looks like it's done. All right, the pull-out tray here, this only fits 8.5 by 11 inch paper. Can you see? This is like 8.5 by 11. This is at its maximum size. Let's zoom out a little bit right now so you can see this better. Okay, but it actually can do legal size. It can. The way that it does legal size, and this is really interesting, it has, in addition to having a front paper tray, it actually has a pass-through back here. See if I can get to it. Here it is. It's right here. you lift this up. I know it's back here. Forgive me. All right, we're going to turn this around. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So right here, maybe you have to, there we go. I'm trying to do it. Okay. Folds down and lifts up. Let's do it that nicely so that I can edit out my awkwardness in their video. All right, so in the back here is the pass-through for legal size paper, which is actually really cool that you can do this. So you fold it down and then you extend this arm and you put your legal size paper here in the back. Isn't that interesting? I thought that was really cool, actually. So, I mean, it's at least different. I think that if you were always using legal size paper, that might actually be inconvenient. I believe you can only put one sheet of paper in the back here, whereas the paper tray in the front holds about 100 sheets. So there is that. But it's interesting that it does that. I don't even know why it does that. But so you can go up to legal size in all 3 of these printers that we're discussing today, including the Brother Sublimation Printer. All right, so let's go back to our setup. And the screen says to load paper and press OK. Fix all this. My mats doesn't like me putting all this heavy stuff on here. It's just moving all over. So we're going to fix it and get it out in there. All right. It's still moving on me. It doesn't really weigh all that much. It's about, I'd say maybe 20 pounds. So it's not bad or anything. All right. So load the paper tray and press OK. We've got our paper in there already from before, so that's good. All right. So go ahead and press OK. It's probably doing our test print right now. And indeed, if we check, we set the date and time already. And so now we're on step 6, check the print quality. It says follow the LCD instructions and press the OK. And then we're going to check the quality of the 4 color blocks on the sheet. So that's what we're looking for. This will be OK. This will be poor. All right, so here we go. This is what it looks like. I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. And let's see what it's supposed to look like again. All right. So, well, I don't see any issues. Does anybody else? This looks great. So it's supposed to look like that up there. I don't see any broken lines. Okay, but if we did, what would you do? All right, so the screen says if it looks okay, and then it asks you, it gives you it shows you a little diagram and it says, are there any dotted lines missing? Yes or no. So if you said no, let's go ahead and press no and see what happens. I'm sorry, let's say yes. Let's say yes and see what happens. Okay, it asks you to match up your closest print result. So over here on this side, it looks pretty much perfect. That's number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4 looks really bad. So you can tell it how far off it is. So, ours looks just fine. And the sign is also fine. So you can tell it which color you're having a problem with, which is kind of cool because you know what will happen. What's going to happen is that it's only probably going to draw extra ink for the one cartridge that's having the issue, meaning you're not going to waste. I'm guessing here, but I'm guessing that it's asking about this because it doesn't have to, it's just going to pull extra ink in there to help it, right? And if it's fine, it's not going to need to do that. So everything looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and tell it that everything is fine. And I said everything was great, and it said my print heads and my print nozzles look great. Awesome. Okay. So we are all set up. That was nice and easy. That was actually very easy. Okay. There's another QR code on here. It says visit a web page to connect your mobile device, but it's got this QR code. So let's just do the QR code again. I'm going to put up my phone again so you can see it. All right. So that's my photos. That's not what we wanted. It's a cute picture of my cat though. Isn't he adorable? Okay, we don't need cat photos. Camera. We want camera. Okay, so let's take a picture of the QR code. And then we're going to just go to that. All right, so that takes us to the Artspira app that we can open. And we have, I've already mentioned that, is in the App Store. This works with iOS and Android, and the app is free. You can download it free. There is a subscription element that you do not have to sign up for in order to use your printer. So that's always really clear. Let's go ahead and do open. Okay, so we did this. Oh, up here in the corner it says, let's set up your device to start creating. So I'm going to tap that icon in the upper right corner here. All right, so it wants us to register our creative printer. We have a creative printer. Oh, wait, yes, we have a, oh, right, because Brother, of course, does a whole bunch of things. They have printers, they have cutting machines, and they have embroidery machines. So we can register any of these things. We have a creative printer, so let's tap on register. Is it going to ask me for all of my personal information? I have to assume it is. I'll let it finish loading. No supported printers found. Check the wireless LAN guidance and try again, or check your local network permission in app settings. Okay, check my local network permission. I wonder, does this have USB? I'm still going to keep going, but I'm curious now if there is a USB on it. I don't feel a different connection for it. Let's check the back. Let's see what's back here. This is going to be, you know, when you get a paper jam, this is just the bypass tray. And then back here is the power cable. So I don't see any way to do USB. So that means we are reliant on wireless for this. Wi-Fi, you know, so let's figure that out. I should probably take my mat off. Let's just take my mat off. It's driving me crazy. We don't have to worry about that getting in our way all the time. Okay. All right, so make sure I'm not missing anything. Okay, so it says wireless setting guidance. Okay, it says check the guidance, which is right here, and try again, or check your local network permission in app settings. Like, I don't really know what they mean by that. Let's go click on wireless setting. Turn on the printer, press wireless LAN key on the home screen of the printer. All right. I'm going to do it like this. Might be able to see it a little better right here. There. Okay. So it says to press the wireless LAN key, or press the wireless LAN key on the home screen. So we need to go to home. I'm guessing this home icon takes us home, right? No, it's not going to let me. Let's just say okay here. Oh, okay. So we've got settings, download software, maintenance. Let's go to home now. Still not letting me go home. Settings. I see network on here. Wireless LAN. Okay, so I found the right spot. All right, so wireless LAN. It says you can do Ethernet. How would you do Ethernet? Am I missing I don't see like a port. Am I just missing it? I wouldn't hate to miss it. This is our ink compartment. It says that you can connect through wire Ethernet. I don't know. I don't see a port though, so I don't know what they're saying. All right. I'm going to press this button. All right. So it's wired status is inactive. All right. Well, it says it's got a MAC address. Okay, so I'm going to keep using my screen. You all might be talking to me. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out my problem. Okay, setting up the wireless LAN connection. Press Find Wi-Fi Network. Press OK when the message Turn on the wireless LAN is appeared on the screen of the printer, which I don't see any of those things. So, I see something here that says Wi-Fi Direct. Let's see. That's not it. That's totally not it. Jennifer, it's under the top. There's Ethernet under the top. How would the cable come out? Let's look. Oh my gosh, it's right there. Who told me that? Someone told Shelby. Thank you, Shelby. Yeah, so they're right here. There we have USB and Ethernet, it looks like. So they're right there. So the cables must be able to come out here and just snake out the side right here. Not sure how that would work though. What the heck? How would they come out the side here? Oh, I see. There's a channel here and they come all the way out the back out there. Okay. So if necessary, I can, but we're going to work on setting it up wireless. All right. I'm still not, I'm working on this. Turn on the printer, press wireless LAN key on the home screen. We're going to go back and do this. I just don't see anything that says that. But I'll tap on network again. I see wired LAN, but not wireless LAN. Okay. I see something here that says WLAN Wi-Fi in parentheses. So you probably cannot see that, but I'll try. So it's the second option down. This is what we get for doing things live. Second option down right here. So I think this is what they mean. I think we're going to press that. Yes, now it says Find Wi-Fi Network. Enable WLAN, so wireless LAN, or wired. The wired network will be disabled. Do you want to continue? Yes. So we want to go wireless, not use the wired network. So let's say yes. It says searching SSID, please wait. Okay, it found my networks. So let's look for the one that I use. So I have Wi-Fi here in my studio. I'm going to connect to that one and say okay, and then put in my password. Nobody look. I'm just going to move it like this and you can't see. Oops, sorry. Sorry, machine. Oh, here we go. Can you see what I'm doing? I'm going to hide it. It's actually not really that big of a secret. There we go. All right. So I put in my password as confidentially as I could. And I'm going to press OK. So it says, please wait. It's looking for it. And then over on my screen, let's move it through the process. I put in my password and now it's on step 4. It's doing the network check. I presume is what it's doing right now. It says it's checking if my smart device and my machine are on the same network. I don't actually know if my phone is connected. So that's a good point. Let's check that right now. So on the iPhone, we go to settings and we go to Wi-Fi. And yes, I'm on MakerNet, which is our Wi-Fi here in the studio. So we are in the right spot. So I'm going to go back to here. It still says, please wait. Yep, it's still looking. So we wait. Diane says, it doesn't matter if we see your password. Well, it does because I won't tell you why. My password might not be as secure as it ought to be. However, it's like, it probably isn't even that secure. Like a lot of people use it. So if you were to come into my studio, I'd be like, here's our Wi-Fi password. So I don't even know what I'm worried about. Still, nonetheless, I try to be careful. You just never know, right? What I'm doing. Like I always worry before our video today. I'm like, what is my browser showing? Because I like show everything. I'm like super transparent. Like, what if I was looking for one of Alexa's presents? And it's unlikely. She doesn't watch a lot of our videos, but she might see like that I found a super cool present for her last night, and it might show up in my browser or whatever, right? So sometimes I do my best to be careful. All right, so it still says, please wait. It still says, so we might have to switch to USB if we can't figure it out, because I don't want to keep you here forever. It says it's connecting, but it's like not finding it. I'll check my connection again. Sometimes when it comes to Wi-Fi, it helps to turn it off and wait, turn it back on again. It seems fine. Oh, so we have two different networks. We have MakerNet and MakerNet 5G. So it's always possible that it was on a different one. I might be able to cancel this and try again, but I'm pretty sure I selected MakerNet, right? Dorothy says, I'm happy you're doing this video. I'm glad that you're happy. Sherry said, or Mary says, I always push the button on my Wi-Fi box. Our Wi-Fi box is in the ceiling. I'm not going to ask Greg to go do that. I'll just switch to USB. I'm going to cancel it because clearly it's not finding it. We're going to try doing it again. All right, let's go back to the home screen. Is it going to let me? What is it saying? It's telling me to replace the ink, which the printer does not have enough ink to maintain print quality. Well, clearly that's not going to be the case because we just put it in. So I'm going to see if I can dismiss that. I might have to turn the power it down and bring it back up. All right. Or maybe that's going to stay there. Maybe there's a problem. That's what we get with a live playtest, right? All right, let's try settings again. We're going to try to connect again. Find Wi-Fi network, enable, and it's looking for my network again. Oh, it wants me to put my password in again. My goodness gracious. There, I did it without having to hide it. All right, let's see. Okay, it worked this time. Yay, look. Connected. All right, it's connected, so let's say okay. Good. All right, close. And it found it. I did a refresh up in the upper left. So there is our Brother SP1 connected. My phone is connected and to my printer, which is cool. But I do want to note that we could also use USB or Ethernet if we wanted to. Okay, good. We have connected it. All right, so I'm just going to say cancel, I guess. So I could register it. I will register it later. I probably don't have to register it right now. I'm hoping I don't. Let's just see if we can proceed on without registering. All right, so what I'd like to do is try printing something to it. So earlier today, I downloaded my Subliflower. For those of you who don't know what that is, let me show you. It is this. So this is a design that I made like a year and a half ago now, and it's got all the colors on it and some nice detail in the center with black, and it's a great test of the color on a sublimation printer. And I have printed this design on every printer I have, and then I get to compare them, right? So I have that for all the other printers already. So we're going to print a Subliflower onto it. So if you would like to also print a Subliflower, you can get it just, I think it's at jennifermaker.com/Subliflower, but you can also just search my library for it. So it's in there and you can get it for free to download. All right, so down at the bottom of the screen, there's a little plus symbol that says new, and I'm going to tap on that. All right, so in here, we can do a new design. Along the top here, we've got 3 choices: embroidery. Here, I'll move this, see where I'm pressing. Actually, let's switch to the overhead. All right, so we have embroidery, cutting and printing, and we are printing, right? So let's make sure that the printing tab is selected. And then we have a choice between design editor and geometric patterns. I want to do a design, so I'm going to press on design editor. All right, it asks me to select the size, and I want letter portrait, but we could do letter landscape, A4, legal, or a custom size, like if we're doing a mug wrap. And fabric roll, I don't even know what that would be. So that's interesting. All right, but we want letter portrait. That's the default, so I'll say done. All right, so this looks like our canvas, and I want to add my Subliflower to it. I have already downloaded it on my phone, and I added it to my camera roll because that's important. So you have 2 choices here about where to get your files from for printing. One is camera roll, and it'll take you right to your camera, all your photos that you've saved. The other is printing data, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. Oh, I know what that is. That's like all the stuff that they have in their system, right? So you can pick one of these things. I want to use my own though. So let's go back here and tap on camera roll, and you'll see the Subliflower. But if you are like me, you might not know or remember how to get a downloaded file into your camera roll on your phone. So let me show you how to do that real quick, because I had to go refresh my memory. I just Googled it. Anyways, so once you've downloaded it, it'll be in, let's go back here. Once you've downloaded it and decompressed it, it'll be in your files section, right? So remember, your files icon looks like this little blue file folder. It does on this version of iOS, right? But it's called Files once it's downloaded. Usually you'll find whatever you downloaded in your Downloads folder, right? So here is the Subliflower. Inside the folder, it looks like I did this 1.5 years ago. I don't remember everything. I have a version with writing on it, which is this one. And this has all the color codes on it. And then I have a version that is just the flower itself. So whatever one you want. I'm going to do the one with all the writing on it because it's got all the color codes, and that's the one I did with the other printers so we can compare it. All right, so this is great, but this is not in our camera roll. This is just a downloaded file. So to get a downloaded image into your camera roll, the way you do it is with this little share icon in the lower left corner of your screen. It looks like a square and an arrow. Now tap on that right there, and that brings us to this page, and we are going to save image. And it saves it to your camera roll when you do that. Okay, so that's how, when you go to use this, you're like, how on earth do I get my downloaded files into my camera roll? That's how you do it. Okay, so let's go back to Artspira and go through that again. So you press the plus button, you press camera roll, and then, you can go here. It'll say, tap on the camera icon. It asks to access the camera, and you say, okay. Oh, that's to take a photo. We don't want that. Sorry. You tap on the plus sign here to access your camera roll. See, there's Alexis present. We won't talk about that. Okay, so here's the image I want right there. I'm going to tap it and say done. And so it didn't show up though. Let's do it again. All photos. I see. I just kind of added it. There we go. There it is. All right, so it's now on my canvas. Doesn't look very big though. So can we resize it? We can move it around. Oh, we can do normal phone stuff with it. Okay, so I'm going to resize it bigger and try to put it back where it was, straight. That looks pretty good. Okay, but I know that at the bottom here, you can see there's a bunch of other options. Change, effect, conversion. Okay, so you can change it, whatever. So there's a bunch of other size. I see there's a size option down there. So there are other ways to edit in here. but just scrolling it on the screen, you know, just resizing it with like this way worked just fine. Okay, so this looks good. So I'm going to tap OK at the top. All right, so at the top I see save and done. I'm going to save it. We'll call it Subliflower. Oops, I did not spell that right. Sorry. Subliflower print. And then save. All right, it's saving. It says storing data on the server. Please wait. Saved. So it's saved to the Brothers cloud, Artspira's cloud. All right, so now I want to print it. I don't see a print button here. Do I say done? There's a little icon up here. What does this do? Oh, that's just our letter size and stuff, our page size. Well, I can tap on done and see what happens. Okay, that worked. All right, done. So down here at the bottom, I can select the printer. So I am going to choose the Brother SP1, and it mirrored it for me automatically. That's good. Under print settings, the print mode at the top's quality mode. You have quality mode and you have speed mode. Always choose quality mode. That's how you're going to get the nice prints. If you do speed mode, it's going to go fast, and then, maybe it's going to look fine, but I always will opt for whatever the best quality is. So we're going to leave it on quality mode, and then one copy, and then here is a toggle for mirror print. So just in case for some reason your design is already mirrored or you don't want to mirror it, there are some projects out there where we don't mirror. I'm trying to think what they are, but generally you want to mirror your sublimation prints, right? So we want to keep it mirrored. Okay, this looks good. Now what do I do? That was the preview. Or maybe I can just go back. There we go. Okay, so those are our settings, and you can tell this is the first time I've done this. All right, so down here we have the print button. So let's get it set up so we can see what we're doing. Here it is. All right. All printers have a way to, like a pull out thing so that your page doesn't go flying across the room. So that's what this one looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and press print. See what happens. Sending. The data transmission is complete. I have a screen that says replace ink. Well, obviously that can't be correct because we just put the ink in. I'm going to see what it says if I press these buttons. Can I make it go away? Tap to change default admin password. We don't want any of that stuff. Change default admin password. No, I don't want to change any of that. No, I don't want any of that. So let's try again. I'm not saying that message now. Let's just give it another try. Can we still see it? Okay, there we go. So I don't know what's up with that. Okay, let's see how fast it prints, because that matters. This is not like a full sheet, you know, but it's like, you know, maybe half the ink is on there. Maybe not half, maybe more like 33 to 40%. I don't know. I remember I heard a little beep when I was moving the printer at some point, and I like pressed over here. I might have opened the door. I might have confused it. I'm wondering if I did, because if you open that cartridge door, it might think that you're trying to do something. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll have to keep printing to it to see if it continues to say that I have low ink or not, because my understanding is that these are regular ink cartridges, and so I shouldn't be getting that message. Did I pull the plastic strip off the ink cartridges? It didn't tell me to. No, but it didn't tell me to either. I guess we're going to, oh, it already printed. So, okay, whew, you scared me for a second there. We did our print test. The print test was fine. There was ink. So that's not it. Press my phone. Oh, thanks. It's still working though. Can you hear it? It's printing. It's not printing very fast though. It's coming. I see the paper coming out. You see it? Starting to come out here. All right. Oh, okay. It was actually in there. That wasn't so bad, actually. I thought it was taking longer. All right. So this is what it looks like after it prints, which, having printed this many times before, this looks excellent. Now, remember when you print sublimation print like this, well, first of all, it's mirrored. Obviously, we mirrored it, but it will always appear, the ink will always look more faded than the final product, right? So this is what the Subliflower should look like. This is what it looks like when it's printed, right? So it's always muted and looks a little bit faded, and that's okay so long as it transfers okay. All right, so we've got our print. Let me give you a closer look at that so you can really see what that looks like, okay? Don't be confused. Don't be like, oh my gosh, it looks so different than the screen. First of all, it's never ever going to look like your screen. Your screen is backlit, very bright white. Nothing, no matter the best sublimation print job in the world, will never look as bright as your screen. So there's always that. But remember, this is also muted. All right, so now we get to actually test it out and see, you know, how well the sublimation ink does. So it's time for our heat press. And I've got my Cricut Easy Press here. Let's set our printer over to the side. I am going to put my phone away because we're done with that part. Then we have more space. And I see people asking, Mary says, press it, we're so excited. I'm going to, all right. There was no plastic on the cartridges or anything like that. Everything is fine, everybody. So I think that because I'm like, Josh, I'm moving it around. Normally when you set things up, it sits there. You're not moving it around a lot. I remember at one point when I was moving it, I heard a little beep when I pressed on the over here where the ink cartridges were, and I suspect that I jostled something and confused it. Okay, so that can happen. Normally, if this was an edited video, that would have happened off camera and you wouldn't have seen it. So, but the benefit of me doing it while we're on camera is that if that happens to you, then you're like, oh, that happened to Jennifer. Everything's going to be okay. All right, so we're going to press it. I'm going to check my sublimation cookbook to see what we're going to press it at. All right, so I am going to do a garden flag, just like my other ones. So I've got my garden flag right here. I like to do garden flags for my tests because it's essentially a pre-cut piece of white polyester. So super easy for me to just try it out with. Okay, so we want to go to this section on just regular polyester. I'm gonna check my chapter 1. I mean, I think I actually have a garden flag page, but it doesn't really matter that much. There we go, garden flags. This is what, by the way, it's Sublimation Cookbook. All of our times, temperatures, and pressures are in here for sublimation. It is so nice. I don't have to remember anything anymore. It's all written down. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to use my Easy Press, so it's down here. So 380 degrees for 60 seconds with medium pressure. And of course, here's our sandwich of all the things that we need. So I'll set this up here and set my Easy Press to 380 degrees Fahrenheit. So here it is. Never used an Easy Press before. They are pretty easy. Power button. Oops, gotta be plugged in though. All right, there we go. All right, so we powered on, and I said 380 degrees. So we turn on that and we can hold down the plus button and it'll go by 10-degree increments. Press that again and then 60 seconds. And we can hold down this and then goes the, plus sign in 5-second increments when you hold that down. I learned that doing a live video, and I was sitting here pressing it like this to get it to go, and someone told me just hold it down, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never would have known that. So I learned so much doing live videos and looking at the chat, and I often can't look at the chat while I'm doing it, but I always go back and read it. So all right, so this is heating up, so let's talk about our layers that we're going to have. Let's put this over here. So sublimation goes onto polyester or polymer coated things, right? So like today's project is a tile that we coated in a polymer, right? So it's called polygloss. So we put a coating on it. But this here is a piece of polyester fabric. And it's a garden flag, but it doesn't really matter. It's just polyester fabric. So, and this is important, sublimation needs to have, for the best results, it should have, if it's a piece of fabric, at least 65% polyester for the sublimation ink to really soak into and stay there, right? It doesn't wash out or anything like that. So we want to use polyester, preferably 100% polyester, and this is 100% polyester. All right, so we're going to build our sandwich. We need a piece. First, we have a piece of white cardstock, and it goes on the bottom. So here's our white cardstock. And then we're going to preheat our garden flag once this is warmed up. And we always want to preheat our projects because it removes moisture. And that is important because moisture and sublimation aren't friends. If your project is damp or anything is damp, it can cause blurring or ghosting. So we want to always preheat. It doesn't really have to be at the max temperature to preheat usually either. And it doesn't have to be done for very long. 5-10 seconds is enough to remove any moisture that might be in your material. But it also gets the wrinkles out, so that's nice. So I'm going to get the wrinkles out while we're doing this too. I use my easy presses as irons all the time. Did you know that? I used it for my dress this morning. I have a little easy press in my green room, and I often use it for ironing my apron and my dress before I do a video. Okay, so here we go. We have pre-pressed it. And we can be following the directions in here. That would be good for us to do. All right, so preheat your heat press. We've done that. Print your transfer. We've done that. Lint roll it. I don't have a lint roller. Yeah, it's fine. You should always lint roll it, but it's probably okay. All right, put a piece of paper underneath. We put this paper underneath here because if any ink passes through, you don't want it to get onto your pressing mat. Okay, so this is a pressing mat right here. All right, so preheat your garden flag for 10 seconds. We did that. Place your design in the middle of your project. So we put it face down onto our surface, just like this. You want it to be straight, if you can. And then you want to, and this talks about how to get it straight. We're gonna tape it down with heat-resistant tape. I have some right here in my little holder that cuts it off for me. So we're going to tape all 4 sides, which I recommend. And the reason, you don't really have to necessarily tape all the edges. But if you think it's going to bubble up or any air might escape, the more tape, the better, really. You just want to avoid putting the tape on your design. Okay, so it's on there. The easy press is now heated up. Okay, good. All right, so our next step is to put a piece of blowout paper on top. And I like to use white uncoated butcher paper for that. Not parchment paper, not wax paper, not Teflon paper, but white uncoated butcher paper. And this also is going to protect our heat press from any extra ink. And the other reason, why is it butcher paper? And that's because butcher paper won't trap moisture. Because remember I said moisture is not your friend when it comes to sublimation. So we are, this is the best. I have in a pinch used other things. Like I have used parchment paper, sometimes by accident. I have used copy paper, but like if you are going to use either of those, make sure that you press out any moisture, because they can definitely hold on to moisture, right? For the best results, use white uncoated butcher paper, okay? All right, so we've got our sandwich. We've got our pressing pad on the bottom, our white cardstock, the thing that we want to press onto, the design itself, and our blowout paper. So now I'm just going to double check, because it actually says what to do in here. It's got the whole little sandwich. So we're going to have our heat source, right? And it's set to the right temperature, 380 degrees for 60 seconds, medium pressure. All right, so our blowout paper transfers face down, the flag, the blowout paper underneath it, the pressing pad, and then our work surface. So we've got everything. All right, let's do it. Let's see how it did. All right, so 60 seconds. When you do sublimation, you want your press to come straight down. You want it to cover the whole thing. And you don't move it around. And it's medium pressure. So medium pressure is really just, you're just kind of doing what I'm doing. Honestly, the weight of the Easy Press is pretty much medium pressure. It's not, you don't have to really press on it in this case. Every project is a little bit different, but in the case of plain old white polyester fabric, this is totally fine. Oh, you guys like my cookbook? It's awesome. This is the print version. You can get it on Amazon. It's really cool, but you can also get a digital version. The print version is cool. It's all printed out for you. The digital version stays up to date. We're always updating it when we find new projects and stuff. We put them in there. So if you get the digital one, you can keep downloading it free, and you always get the new stuff and print it out yourself, or you can just get the print version. And you can get the information on the Sublimation Cookbook at sublimationcookbook.com. All right, so the time is up, and you just lift up straight and set it back in its cradle. And of course, you can do this on a traditional heat press, an auto press, but it's easier to demonstrate with the Cricut Easy Press. All right, so immediately after you do it, you want to let it sit here for just a little bit. Let it cool back down, because if you just rip it off because you're so eager to see it, you might end up causing blurring, right? Because it's still sublimating. Sublimating is the process of taking the solid that's on our piece of paper and heating it into a gas. And then when it's done heating, it like basically infuses into the surface of the thing that you put it up against. So it's a cool, very cool process. If you are new to sublimation and you're like, what the heck are you talking about? I have many, many tutorials on sublimation. I have this book that will help you. I have another book coming out. I don't know exactly when, but it's more of a guide to sublimation, not just times and temperatures, and a course, and tons of stuff. Okay. All right, so it's cooled off now. So let's pick this up. All right, let's see how it did. You ready? This is the moment of truth on how the Brother Sublimation Printer did with its sublimation ink. Ooh, it worked. Awesome. That looks beautiful to me. That looks exactly the way it should. Let's hold that up so you can see it. That looks excellent. So let me get out some of the others so we can compare them, okay? I have the others from all of my other tests. I just have to make sure I'm showing you the right ones as I do this. Oh, there's the F170, the Eco Tank, the Sawgrass. So we're going to compare these so you can see, okay? Okay, so let's move everything so we got some more space here. Okay. So again, this is the Brother Sublimation Printer. Compared to, we'll set this over here so we can compare each one. Compared to the Sawgrass, I made little notes here. um, looks similar to me, not identical though. The biggest difference I'm seeing is that the reds, the oranges and reds are a little bit brighter. That's mostly it, I'd say. Okay, so that's the Sawgrass. Next one is the Epson Color F170. I put notes about what I did here so that we can see. Looks very similar to me. I'm not seeing a lot of differences, so looks great. Okay, and then the Epson EcoTank. Yep. And I know we're not talking about the EcoTank today, but I still use an EcoTank. So for those of you I know are considering it, so this is the Epson EcoTank that has, which is not a sublimation printer, but we filled it with sublimation ink, and it had Hippo ink in it when we did it. And it looks really similar, but I feel like this red is different than this red. And this is really normal. By the way, don't be like, oh my gosh, like this is right and this is wrong. That is really not the case. So every printer, the colors will be just a little different. What we're hoping for is not like vast differences where all the greens look blue or something like that. And, you know, I'm not seeing any gigantic differences here. Things look pretty good to me. Between these, what do you all think? Did anyone notice anything? Yes, would you like, someone is asking me to, I can try to put them all up for you. Okay, so the one in the top corner is the Brother. Let's actually get rid of this so we can see them exactly the same against the white background. All right, so top left is the the Brother Sublimation Printer. Okay, and then the top right, I don't know, left, right, I get them confused. Brother Sawgrass. Epson Color. You see that? And then Epson EcoTank. And again, this is dependent upon its ink. Okay, this has Hippo ink in it, which is usually what I use. I really like Hippo ink. Okay, so there they all are.